if you've been listening to this show and you have been enjoying yourself here, we're on the same page. Prophetic dreams, like there's definitely something going on where we can predict the future. I've heard anything from burning buildings in a neighborhood to more crazy stuff. What about the Ferrari? What's going on with the Ferrari? No, I don't own one, but this is where it gets more specific and interesting. All right, welcome to the New Age Human Podcast, where we empower entrepreneurial empaths to become successful conscious creators by diving into alternative health, mindfulness, and innovative technology and solutions. So if you've been following our dream analysis series, you know we've covered some fascinating topics. And today we're talking about diving into part 4 of the dream analysis series, which is the mysterious world of prophetic dreams. So before we begin, stick with me to the very end because I do have a special bonus. And again, if you've been paying attention or following along, you know exactly what that is. If not, listen to the end. Also, if you want to support the show, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and join the newsletter for sneak peeks and heads up notice on future projects. Let's get to the show. Now, what are prophetic dreams? Okay. Glad you asked. I think I said that like in 3 episodes. So, prophetic dreams are not your everyday dreams. They seem to be predicting the future. While some claim that scientific research hasn't definitively proven the existence of prophetic dreams, they have been documented throughout history and across various cultures. And today, you'll experience a personal example from myself. So let's get into the benefits. Side note, we if you've been listening to this show and you have been enjoying yourself here, we're on the same page. Prophetic dreams, like there's definitely something going on where we can predict the future. So let's get to benefits. The benefits of understanding these dreams are pretty obvious. You can see the future. It would be great if you can predict the lotto. But if you think about messages from the future, chances are it's our, I don't want to say future selves, but it's our higher selves and potentially future self giving us insight, and it's for our personal growth and guidance and warnings. So it's not necessarily a cheat code. So let's get into my personal story. All right, so I'm going to set the tone, give you a little bit of background, and then we're going to go into it. So it starts off with pretty much telling you my background. My older brother, his love for cars rubbed off on me at an early age, from like the little toy cars and stuff, the Matchbox cars. I can talk. All of my video games were car games too. Literally all the video games. So at an early age, I was eager to drive my own car. As I got older and closer to the legal age to drive, I would start having dreams of driving. I had 2 dreams I can remember that and those dreams were of me driving a Ferrari, a bright Ferrari red. I think once it was a convertible, the other one it wasn't. But anyways, I would find myself driving in the back roads where there's lots of trees and winding roads. I had other dreams that were more strange though. Those dreams I drove in a neighborhood I was unfamiliar with, and sometimes I would be in the car with my father. So time passes by and I would become of age to get a license, and I signed up for driver's ed. And of course, that was available at my high school. So to give you context of where I was at that time, my parents have been divorced since I was about 3 or 4 years old, maybe even earlier. And I essentially grew up with my mom and would visit my father on the weekends. And at that time, I was staying with my mom and my then stepfather. After taking the driver's ed course, I then needed 8 hours of driving practice. Around that time, I rarely visited my father as I had a busy social life because I was just so cool. I'm just kidding. I had a busy social life, so visits would be much less frequent. I assumed my mother or stepfather would help me practice, but that just didn't happen. My mom said, she would say stuff like, "Why would you be in a rush to get a car if you don't have a license?" Which makes sense. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna help me get my license. I need to do this, this, and that. She said, whoa. Why would you be in a rush to get a license if you don't have a car? I'm like, oh man, this is not good. She's just running me through this loop. So the truth was, she was terrified of being in the car with me. And then at the same time, my stepfather at the time worked too much and was barely home. So that just didn't work either. So I was just like, man, like, what do I do? So I ended up calling and asking my father, and he accepted the challenge. And he lives in the next state over, let's say 45 minutes away. So when I started to drive with my father and practice, we would drive in his neighborhood that I wasn't used to. I would just visit his house, but we would drive in his neighborhood that I was unfamiliar with. So let's see if you figured it out. So going back, if you haven't figured it out yet, let's connect the dots. Those dreams of driving with my father in an unfamiliar neighborhood came true. Now, what about the Ferrari? What's going on with the Ferrari? No, I don't own one, but this is where it gets more specific and interesting. A few years later, I took on a job at a Ferrari dealership as a car porter. I had my license, I was driving, blah, blah, blah. I would take the car, like as a car porter, you would take the car to get gas, get emissions testing, which would be like the next town over, but like a 10-minute drive, but 10-minute drive in a Ferrari, baby. Anyways, so a few times I dropped the cars off at the car's owner's house that was in town, okay, where they live in the back country surrounded by trees and winding roads. So there you have it. I had dreams of driving a Ferrari in a specific area with a specific scenery that happened in real life. All right, so we're going to go on to common themes in prophetic dreams. So prophetic dreams often come with recurring themes that many people experience. Here are some of those themes. Warnings. These dreams may serve as a cautionary tale, alerting you to potential dangers and obstacles. I've heard anything from burning buildings in a neighborhood to more crazy stuff that I don't remember, unfortunately. So next is guidance. These dreams offer advice or direction in the form of symbols or scenarios. So pay attention, because if you've been following, I have a guide on symbolism, and maybe those could be prophetic. So pay attention to those symbols. Premonition is another one, where these dreams may give you a glimpse of future events, right? Both good or bad. And for me, fortunately, it was good. And maybe the driving with my father could have just given me more patience with the situation, that I was going to get a license and I was going to get help. It could have been that, because I was definitely freaking frustrated. I didn't get my car until 2 years after getting my license. But now in retrospect, I'm appreciative that it took 2 years, because I probably would have gotten to a pretty bad car accident at 16 years old with the lack of emotional stamina, I guess. And just, you're still figuring out your emotions, you're figuring out who you are. Not too many 16-year-olds have that down packed. But best of luck if you're listening and you're 16 years old. I think you're ahead of most, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. All right, so bringing it home. Understanding these themes can provide valuable insights into your life and even guide your decision-making decisions. Now, how to recognize those prophetic dreams? Well, let's start out with, one, it's definitely tricky, right? You don't know if it's the future. So some tips would be that they're a different quality than regular dreams. like for me, regular dreams, because I dream all the time. Sometimes some people don't even dream at all, or don't. I think you just don't remember. So when you start remembering those dreams, the more vivid ones tend to be more detailed and leave with a strong emotional impression. So when you wake up and you're like, whoa, what was that? I felt like it was real, maybe because it was a glimpse into a potential future. The dream content may also revolve around significant life events or people you may know. If you wake up with a strong sense of urgency or a feeling that this dream was different, you might have experienced a prophetic dream. So pay attention to those as well. And that's why, again, it's good to get a dream journal. Now, as promised, I have a special bonus. Surprise, surprise. It's a guide. I go into more of like how to recognize those dreams and tips on just recognizing and being more aware of prophetic dreams. It's kind of hard to I'm going to have a prophetic dream. You could go to sleep and tell yourself, I'm going to have a prophetic dream, but it's more up to your future self, your higher self, in my opinion. If you need it, and if you're going off path with your life, you tend to have prophetic dreams if it's like an emotional thing or a life or death thing, to be honest. So conclusion, let's review the last 4 episodes. Part 1, symbolism in dreams. I hope you got the guide for that. Part 2, recurring dreams. Put an end to those annoying, pesky dreams that keep happening again and again and again. Part 3, lucid dreams and OBE, out of body experiences. Those are really fun. And lastly, part 4 today with prophetic dreams. So we've dove into a lot of these different dream styles, and there's definitely more, but these are closer to home for me because I have stories around them. If you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, a seeker, someone who's a curious observer, I'm pretty sure you've had fantastic dreams, and I want to hear from you and see if you got anything from these series. Did the guides help you out? Do you have advice? I want to hear from you. So feel free to shoot me an email. You can just go to newagehuman.com, and there's a contact me button on the top right. And you can also join the Telegram channel. The link will be in the show notes. So just go down there, and it'll be towards the bottom near the guide link. I want to thank you for joining me today and exploring dreams with me for the last 4 episodes, including today. I had a blast. It was awesome. More to come in the future with exploring mindfulness, hint, meditation. So until then, I'll see you on the next episode. Have a great day. Peace out.